let's dive into one of the most mysterious, and let's be honest, one of the most confusing books ever written, the Book of Revelation. Our goal here is pretty simple. We're going to cut through all that confusion and uncover the powerful story of hope that the source material says lies right at its very core. Okay, let's just start with a bombshell. The source makes it crystal clear that if your main takeaway from this book is doom, gloom, and destruction, you're kind of missing the entire point. This central theme isn't really the end of the world, it's about a triumphant return. It's a story of ultimate victory and hope. So, to really understand the message, we first have to understand the messenger and the pretty grim situation he was in. Let's set the scene. Now, what's so fascinating is that this epic cosmic vision wasn't given to someone in a palace or a grand temple. Nope. It was given to the Apostle John on Patmos, which was basically a desolate Roman prison island. He was shipped there to be forgotten, to die alone, because of his faith during a time of absolutely brutal persecution. In this context, it's crucial. Think about it. The word martyr literally changed its meaning during this time. It used to just mean witness. But things got so bad that to be a witness for Jesus often meant getting a death sentence. Early Christians were under immense pressure, and they desperately needed a message that all this suffering wasn't for nothing. Okay, so let's shift from the earthly prison to the heavenly vision itself, because this is where the main drama of the story gets revealed. Picture this. You're in the throne room of heaven. There's this scroll, and it holds the key to the entire future, but it's sealed shut. And a powerful angel basically declares that no one, not in heaven, not on earth, is worthy enough to open it. The whole plan is locked away. According to the text, John just breaks down and weeps. The tension is just huge. And then the hero shows up. But he's not some muscle-bound warrior. He's a lamb, and he looks like he's been slain. And this single image just brilliantly sums up the core message. His worthiness, his power, his victory. It doesn't come from brute force. It comes from his sacrifice. And because of that, he's the only one who can unlock the future. So as the lamb starts opening these seals, judgment begins to roll out. And this is where we meet the famous four horsemen. They're unleashed on a rebellious world representing conquest, war, famine, and death. Basically, the natural consequences of a world that has turned its back on its creator. As the story builds toward its peak, all the forces of evil kind of consolidate into their final form. They create this counterfeit kingdom that demands one thing: total, absolute worship. This opposition is shown as this sort of twisted mirror image, an unholy trinity, if you will. You've got the dragon, that's Satan, who gives his power to two beasts. The first beast is this global, oppressive political system. The second is a deceptive religious system, a false prophet, whose only job is to get everyone to worship the first beast. So, what this all boils down to is a really stark choice. There are two kingdoms, and you have to pick a side. Allegiance is everything. Are you sealed by God, worshiping the Creator, or are you marked by the beast, worshiping his corrupt system? The book makes it clear there is absolutely no middle ground. Which, of course, brings us to the infamous mark of the beast. Now, the source material explains this not so much as a literal computer chip, but as a powerful symbol of your economic and spiritual loyalty. To be part of the beast's system, to buy or sell anything, you have to bear his mark. It forces this gut-wrenching choice between physical survival and spiritual faithfulness. And what about 666? Well, according to the text, it's not some mystical code we're supposed to decipher. It says it's the number of a man. Symbolically, it represents humanity at its peak of rebellion and pride, constantly falling short of divine perfection. So, after this evil empire rises to power, the story naturally turns toward its inevitable collapse. The entire corrupt world system, which is personified as this single entity, finally faces judgment. And this system has a name: Babylon the Great. Now, this isn't about a literal city in Iraq. In Revelation, Babylon is code for the whole global network of economic corruption, political oppression, and idolatry that has seduced the nations of the world away from God. And the judgment is swift and total. You hear this massive cry from an angel. "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great." It echoes through the heavens. But right along with that is this urgent warning to God's people: get out. Separate yourselves from this corrupt system, or you're going to share in its punishment. With the corrupt system completely dismantled, The stage is now set for the story's true climax, the return of the king. But listen, he's not coming back as a sacrificial lamb this time. He returns as a conquering warrior, ready to execute final justice. Just look at these descriptions. His name is faithful and true. His title, the Word of God. His authority is absolute, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And check out his weapon. It's not a physical blade. It's a sharp sword coming from his mouth. It symbolizes the unstoppable power of his truth. The end for the antagonists is, well, it's fast. The leaders of the rebellion, the beast and the false prophet, are captured and judged immediately. Their armies aren't wiped out in some long, drawn-out battle. They are simply defeated by the power of the king's word. The victory is total and absolute. And this right here, this is where the story pivots from judgment to its ultimate purpose. See, the end goal of Revelation was never to just leave a world covered in ashes. It's to clear the way for a brand new beginning, a complete and total restoration of everything. This timeline gives us a really clear roadmap. The corrupt system falls, the king returns victorious, there's a final judgment for all, and then the grand finale, a new creation. You know, what's truly profound here is that the ultimate enemy to be defeated isn't a person or a political system, it's death itself. In the final scene, death, the great enemy of all humanity, is thrown into the lake of fire and completely, eternally eliminated. And what takes the place of that old, painful world? A new reality where God lives right there with his people. A reality with no more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, no more pain. This is the hope that beats at the very heart of this entire book. It's not just about escaping something bad. It's about the complete restoration of all things good. So, we're left with this question to think about. Is Revelation just a cryptic roadmap of future events? Or is it something more, a timeless survival guide? A story of ultimate hope written to empower people to stand firm through suffering in any time period, knowing that, in the end, the Lamb wins.